Life's full of tough choices, isn't it?
Disney has been around for a century now, and they've created countless memorable and iconic villains who will be remembered for generations to come. With the 100-year anniversary coming up in October, we thought it was time to go over which Disney villains are truly the best of the best. I'm Kyle with Wicked Binge, and these are the best Disney villains and why they're awesome. A quick note, we're sticking to animated villains only for this video, and with that said, we'll be starting with the least best and working our way up to the best Disney villain of all time. Starting things off, we have Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians. Cruella is mean, rude, greedy, and selfish, as well as obsessed with furs. She looks down on everyone and has no sympathy or concern for the well-being of others. After she was refused the Dalmatian puppies, she hired two thugs, Jasper and Horace, to steal them. She wanted the Radcliffe puppies along with 84 others she'd bought to make a Dalmatian fur coat.
I live for furs. I worship furs.
Which is just so evil, even when you compare it to conquering the world or some other villain ambition. Making a fur coat out of puppies? Come on, that's messed up. If you thought killing puppies was bad, that's nothing compared to the Shadow Man himself, Dr. Facilier from The Princess and the Frog. Dr. Facilier, aka the Shadow Man, is a witch doctor that loves to make deals that benefit himself. He has a reputation around the city of New Orleans as a dread figure, while he's polite and charismatic. Facilier is cruel, remorseless, greedy, and sadistic. He doesn't care about others, preying on their dreams with his magic to pay off his debt to the underworld. He tricked Prince Naveen and his assistant Lawrence into making a deal, hoping to get all the money and to get all the souls he needed to pay his debt in full. He turned the prince into a frog and transformed Lawrence to impersonate the prince so that he could marry Charlotte. Keith David did a great job voicing Dr. Facilier. He's an iconic villain because he's very charming and resourceful, and he also has one of the darkest fates of any Disney villain, being dragged kicking and screaming to the other side by demons. Facilier may be iconic, but even more iconic is Captain Hook from Peter Pan. He's known to be cruel, deadly, short-tempered, and dangerous, but he also has a vulnerable side, with his deadly fear of the crocodile and making a fool of himself at times, and he relies on Mr. Smee, his first mate. Hook is dismissive of all others, fatally shooting one of his crew members for terrible singing. He's strong physically and mentally, and he once threw a crewman overboard with only his hook, so many other pirates would not dare to mess with him. After he lost his left hand to a crocodile in a fight with Peter Pan, he vowed never to leave Neverland until he killed him. Hook can use the charming and suave part of his personality to manipulate people to get what he wants, showing that he's also clever in his own right. At the end of the day, Hook is more of a comedic villain than anything else, and fans love him for his antics. Definitely one of the more iconic villains to come out of the earlier Disney eras. But a villain who truly radiates being iconic is the malevolent fairy Maleficent of Sleeping Beauty. Being the incarnation of pure evil, she feigns honor, kindness, and generosity, but inwardly, Maleficent is ruthless, cruel, and devious, willing to do whatever it takes to achieve her goals, not knowing love, kindness, or the joy that comes from helping others. She's also vindictive and sarcastic, a real psychological and physical threat.
Now go with a curse and serve me well.
She thinks of herself as above everyone else. Feeling slighted when the child was presented to the court, she cursed Princess Aurora to die by touching the spindle of a spinning wheel before sunset on her 16th birthday, possibly also making her the most petty Disney villain. She unleashed her full wrath with a smile on the prince who attempted to thwart her. She's become an icon because she is so evil and so ruthless, and we can't forget the fact that she attempted to kill Prince Philip as an enormous dragon. Her motivation is much to be desired though. While Captain Hook wanted to kill Peter Pan for his hand, and Cruella wanted to make a fur coat, Maleficent put a curse on Aurora because she wasn't invited to a party. Again, most petty Disney villain ever. If you thought cursing an innocent baby is bad, at least she didn't kidnap a baby and use her for her own youth. Unlike the incredibly vain Mother Gothel from Tangled. Mother Gothel is another one of the more iconic and dangerous Disney villains, but she's also particularly scary because her character draws on a lot of real-life narcissistic personality traits that are dangerous and covert in real life. Based on the old fairy tale Rapunzel, Mother Gothel may seem nice and caring. However, she is anything but. She's cruel, possessive, selfish, vain, and very, very manipulative. She kidnapped Rapunzel to have the power of healing for herself, and kept her in a secluded tower for 18 years. This way Gothel was able to live forever as long as Rapunzel's hair remained uncut. She tricked Flynn's former partners, the Stabbington brothers, into working for her for a share in and power of Rapunzel's hair. After she finished using them, she attempted to continue keeping Rapunzel in the tower. After Rapunzel learned the truth, she rebelled against her. Mother Gothel then chained up Rapunzel and stabbed Flynn in an attempt to kill him. Rapunzel agreed to leave with Gothel in exchange for Flynn's life.
If you let me save him, I will go with you.
Her hair's healing powers were ended when Flynn cut Rapunzel's hair off with a piece of broken mirror. This caused the centuries of age to come back to Gothel all at once, leading quickly to her own demise. Mother Gothel may have attempted murder, but she's got nothing on the Lord of Death himself, Hades from Hercules. Hades is the lord of the underworld, watching over everyone and everything that died and departed into the afterlife. However, Hades hates his job and wants to rule all of Mount Olympus instead. While Hades is generally calm, cool, and collected, he probably has the shortest temper of any villain of Disney. He's also cruel, cunning, and bitter, which definitely fits a person that watches over death. Oh, and it needs to be said, James Woods absolutely murdered this role, as Hades might be one of the best Disney villain voices of all time. After Hades learned from the Fates that Hercules will foil all his plans, he had his minions render Hercules mortal with a potion and attempted to kill him. After learning from his minions about the failure of killing Hercules, Hades sent all kinds of monsters to kill him, to no avail.
My favorite part of the game.
After everything failed and Hercules foiled his plans, he ultimately met his fate. He was dragged into the depths of the river Styx for eternity. On one hand, we hope he never escapes, but on the other, we would love to see him in another movie. Hades definitely got what was coming to him, but another villain that got the same treatment is the winner of our bronze medal of Best Disney Villain, the envious Scar from The Lion King. You know a movie is fantastic when a villain has been made one of the most infamous villains in the Disney pantheon, such as Scar. Scar is egotistical and prides himself on being smarter than everyone else. He was the heir apparent of Pride Rock, but this was changed when Simba was born. This made Scar bitter and resentful, and he eventually came up with a plan to kill them both, so that he could ascend to the throne. Not only was he successful in killing his brother, Mufasa, he saw Simba exiled and left him to be eaten by the dreaded hyenas.
Run away and never return.
He assumed the throne and neglected his responsibilities in caring for the Pride Lands. He ruled the kingdom as a tyrant and denied the deterioration of the land. After Simba returned years later, he learned that Scar had murdered his father. Scar attempted to shift the blame onto the hyenas, and in the end, he met his own tragic demise when they turned on him. What makes Scar such a fantastic villain is that he is one of the few villains that got what he wanted after a carefully laid plan. It just all went south for him afterwards. Now, Scar may have been a real tyrant, but no one is more corrupt than the winner of our silver medal for Best Disney Villain, the evil minister, Judge Claude Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Judge Frollo is considered the darkest villain Disney has ever made, and honestly, it's not even close. He is a political judge and a prime minister for justice in Paris. However, while he is a prime minister of the church, he is anything but a saint. Frollo is highly corrupted, cruel, manipulative, and broke virtually every commandment of the church and God. He murdered an innocent woman, and remember for a second, this is a Disney movie. He attempted to drown her baby, and then imprisoned Quasimodo in the bell tower for over 20 years. Later in the movie, Quasimodo finds out Frollo's true colors when he attempts to kill Esmeralda and goes against him. After a long sword fight inside and outside the bell tower, Frollo eventually plunges to his death into a lake of molten copper, and then we can only assume straight to hell. What makes Frollo such an iconic villain is that he is unlike any other villain in Disney history. He's so ruthless and evil to a degree that you pretty much never see in the context of a children's movie. And this film as a whole focuses a lot more on adult subjects rather than for kids only, and that's what makes Frollo such a dark villain. Though Frollo may have been the darkest villain in Disney history, there is someone who might be a bit more sinister and evil, and who is most definitely more iconic, as the gold medal for Best Disney Villain has to go to the sea witch herself, Ursula from The Little Mermaid. And no, we're not giving her the gold medal just because The Little Mermaid live-action remake came out recently. The original Ursula is highly regarded for her strong sense of magic and cruel deception. She's greedy, lustful, power-hungry, cunning, arrogant, egotistical, and on top of that, has a wicked sense of humor. She makes deals with the unfortunate mermen and women, appearing to help, only to be double-crossed in the end.
And I help?
Yes, I do.
Her end goal was to rule the Seven Seas with King Triton's royal trident as payback for being banished from the palace court. The only beings she truly cared about were her minions, Flotsam and Jetsam, who Ursula sometimes calls her babies. Other than that, she expressed absolutely no concern for anyone else. She really only cares about herself and gratifying her lust for power. While her downfall came when she underestimated Eric as a threat, her plan was nearly successful. She has a great role in the film, and also a great ability to improvise when it wasn't going as planned. talent. Her personality was inspired by many other villains, including those created by other studios. This is definitely a sea witch we do not want to make a deal with, but we will give her the gold medal for best Disney villain.